Hello friends, welcome back to Get Happy Be Fit. Today, I'm going to talk about a more external or physical aspect of fitness and weight loss. I talk a lot about the internal aspect of this because it is very important. But in order to see change, action is also essential. A lot of us have dealt with years of frustration, losing weight, gaining back anything we lost, and then suffering the results of deprivation and yo-yo dieting. Being in that place often feels very hopeless, but you don't have to be stuck in that place forever. There are steps and approaches you can take to manipulate your metabolism and be able to achieve healthy, sustainable weight loss. So I'm going to talk about my recent approach and the success I've had with weight loss this past year and the process of reversing my activity, particularly cardio, in order to maintain higher maintenance calories without having to maintain the same amount of activity or cardio. Simply put, being able to eat more while doing less. Sounds great, doesn't it? I have studied reverse dieting and reversing cardio a lot the past couple of years because of my experience with metabolic adaptation. Most recently, after my first bikini competition season in 2018. I've mentioned before that at one period of time, I was maintaining my weight, which was around the weight I am now, at 811 calories a day. It was terrible. And there were a lot of people that said that that just wasn't possible, that I had to be underreporting on my calories or lying about how much I was eating. But this was after years of yo-yo dieting, disordered eating, and absolutely exhausting myself with cardio. So it was no surprise that my body adapted so strongly to what I was doing to it. And like I've said, our bodies are amazing at being efficient at energy preservation, which means not needing as much energy or calories to survive and maintain your current weight. And in my case, there were also some medical issues that were later dealt with that contributed to this as well. But I still believe that one of the biggest contributing factors to my inability to lose weight was how I had treated my body and the relationship I had with food for so many years. If you've listened to my earlier episodes, you know that I was able to find love for my body, heal my relationship with food, and over time, meet my weight loss goal in a way that felt pretty seamless. But after competing in bikini competitions with coaches who had me doing 1 to 2 hours of cardio a day, I was back to a place where I was starving all the time and had way lower maintenance calories than what felt doable. I did an episode on metabolic manipulation not too long ago, and that is precisely what I'm trying to do. Manipulate my metabolism. And I'm super excited that it is working. When 2020 started, I had just gone through a few months of bulking, trying to put on a lot more muscle. And this was after an extremely frustrating and fruitless bikini prep. So during this bulking season, I had put on weight. And this was not only intentional, but pretty unavoidable unless I wanted to use every bit of willpower that I had to resist how hungry I was. Which is why I was lifting and doing 2-a-days. Because when you're in a surplus of calories, your body will build more muscle, which will improve your metabolism, causing your maintenance calories to be higher in and of itself. I knew I was probably going to gain more weight than I wanted, but I also needed a break from constant restriction and needed to give my body some time to heal. And I love my body, even when I'm heavier. I may like the way it looks and feels more when I'm smaller, but I can appreciate what my fluffier self brings to the table as well. So I started 2020 around 137 to 139. Pretty sure the scale hit upwards of 140 or 141, especially after days that I ate more or had more sodium. And at this time, my maintenance calories were around 2,300. Over the course of 2020, I slowly, and I mean slowly, cut weight. I went back and forth between maintaining for a while, then cutting for a while, Todd and I started walking a lot. I did some home workouts, but really nothing like I was used to, especially considering that before this, I had been doing 2-a-days, which, if you're not familiar with it, means I was lifting twice a day. I also had a lot of stress, like pretty much everyone did in 2020, and I got my bipolar 2 diagnosis that summer. So there were a lot of other priorities in my life, particularly staying sane. Todd and I built up to walking 3 to 5 miles every day, 7 days a week. This allowed me to drop some weight over a stretch of time while still eating my maintenance calories, which were between 2,000 and 2,300. And we kept that up for a long time. And I started to maintain my weight instead of losing after a certain period of time. So I cut my calories for a while keeping up our activity, and I lost a little bit more. Then I went back to my maintenance calories of 2,000 to 2,300, and I continued to maintain what I had lost. Also, as I've talked about before, I was doing 5 lower calorie days and 2 maintenance days when I was cutting. There are studies that have shown that this method leads to less metabolic adaptation, meaning your maintenance calories stay higher than they would if you just cut calories for months until you hit your goal. There are also studies that show that diet breaks, which I was doing by going back to maintenance for a while, has the same effect. So I was using both of these strategies. So at this point, I had gotten down to about 130 to 133 over the course of a year, while being able to keep my maintenance calories between 2,000 and 2,300, the same as when I weighed about 10 pounds more. But at this time, I was walking at least 3, but usually 5 miles a day. So when my activity level increased even more because we were moving and I was spending hours every day on my feet packing and lifting 4 days a week, my body was screaming at me. I also knew with the amount of activity I was doing, when we were just walking and I wasn't packing, my step count was 16 to 20,000 a day. When we were moving and I was packing, it was like 30,000 steps a day. It was ridiculous. But I didn't have much room for adding more cardio when I wanted to cut again. Because in order to lose more, once your body has adapted to what you're doing, this is often referred to as a plateau, you have to keep adding new stimuli, usually more cardio or more intense workouts, or you have to cut your calories to continue losing weight. So Todd and I reversed out of our cardio. We started taking shorter walks, usually around 3 miles a day. Then we started limiting our walks to 5 or 6 days, then 4 to 5 days. And we gradually did this until we weren't walking at all. I was lifting a little bit more, but my step count was and is 8,000 to 9,000 steps a day on average. And I maintained my weight, and my maintenance calories have stayed at about 2,000 to 2,300. Y'all don't know how happy this makes me, because it gives me hope that I can compete again without my body wanting to bounce back so hard. And when I cut, I'll be able to eat more calories and still see fat loss like I did on my first prep. And it also gives me hope for all of my friends and listeners and clients who have struggled the way I did for so long. This process may feel confusing, but it's not as difficult as it may sound. It's all about getting your body used to something very gradually so that it doesn't adapt so drastically. That's why so many people, myself included, have had such success in the beginning of an extremely restrictive diet, only to stall 10 to 20 pounds away from your goal, feeling depleted and starving. And at that point, your body has adapted and become so efficient at energy preservation that it only needs what you've been giving it, which is a very small amount of calories. So you'd have to cut even harder from there to get to your goal, making your maintenance calories lower and lower and lower so that even if you reach your goal, it is in no way sustainable. I've been in that place so many times. And now here I am at a weight I previously maintained eating less than 1,000 calories a day and doing way more activity than I'm doing now. And now I'm maintaining my weight, eating over twice that, doing no cardio, and only lifting. Also, I was about 12 years younger than I am now. So my metabolism is faster than it was in my early 20s, y'all. That is super exciting to me. This process does take patience, and seeing 30-day challenges and people losing 30 to 40 pounds in 2 months makes us want to lose as fast as possible. What we don't see is that the majority of those people gain the weight back and then some in a lot of cases. Losing about 10 pounds in the course of a year may not sound like much, but if you keep that weight off forever, I would say it's 100% worth it. And I want to reiterate that all of this, any sort of weight loss or fitness goal, any attempt at manipulating your metabolism should come from a place of love and respect for yourself and your body. You don't have to hate your body to want to lose weight. You definitely don't have to hate your body to want to eat more calories and maintain your weight. And if your efforts come from a place of love and excitement rather than desperation, it's so much easier to be patient when reversing cardio or cutting slowly. You by no means need to want to lose weight, but if you do, there are healthy, sustainable ways to do it. I'm still learning more and more about all of this stuff, and I hope that sharing it with you along the way will give you some hope and a direction to go in that you haven't previously taken. And as always, if you have any questions about any of this, or you want some personal coaching through a reverse or a cut or anything, email me at gethappybefit@gmail.com. All right, that's all for today.